Hey guys, I'm Talia Janae, and welcome back to the Licensed Yapper podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so happy you guys are back chilling with me, yapping with me. I don't think you guys get, I love recording this podcast. So when I do this, I love chatting to y'all, talking to y'all, and y'all are hopefully chatting and talking back to me. My week was pretty chill, but I have like 5 days till I go to the beach, which I'm so excited about. If some of y'all don't know, I live in Louisiana. So it's not like vacation, it's not like beautiful weather here. So I'm happy I get to go on a little vacation with my girls and chill at the beach for a little bit and not be here. We're going to Miramar, which I'm like so excited about, which kind of throws off my schedule a little bit because I usually record my podcast on a Friday or Saturday, but we leave on Thursday of next week. So I'm gonna have to figure out when to record my podcast because I'm not gonna be here on Friday or Saturday to record it. So I might record it early, which is gonna trip me up a bit because it already takes me a week to think of the topic that I'm going to talk about. And I don't think a lot of people know that. Every single day of the week, from Monday when I hit send of the podcast, or from Sunday night when I hit send on the podcast, Monday till Friday, literally, or Monday till Thursday night, I'm looking up what am I going to talk about on my podcast, what interesting clips have caught my attention, what topics have caught my attention that I would want to talk about. I'm really diving deep and going through everything to figure out what I want my topic to be, which sometimes can be stressful because I swear I only get the topic idea by the grace of God. I swear He really puts it in my brain and tells me about it, or I'll see a video because throughout the week I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to talk about. It literally comes to me on that Thursday, sometimes that Friday morning when I'm scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through social media, seeing what topics I want to talk about. And speaking of the topic of the day, since you guys already know that I'm kind of on this self-love journey, and I really want to preach self-love to my friends, my family, those of you who are listening. I really want to throw that out there and make sure people are sitting in that and understanding that there is nothing, you can't, if you don't have self-love, you don't have a lot, to be honest. And it starts with you, and I really want to preach that and get that into people's minds. So I've been on that self-love journey. I went through it myself, like I said in a previous podcast, in college, and it's just something that I think that's really really helped me become the person that I am today, and that helps me on my journey of becoming the person I want to be. And I look in the mirror and say I love myself. So I'm really into that. And surprisingly enough, um, I was scrolling through I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw a video that really piqued my interest, and I was going in the comments, and a lot of people were talking about it and having their opinions about it. So I was like, this could be a really good topic to thrive in there, or to throw in here, about the self-love journey. But I saw this guy on TikTok. He's not a TikToker, but he's like a motivational speaker, I think. I don't really know what he does, but his name's Jay Shetty. I feel like some of you guys may know who that is. But there was this podcast clip of him saying something very interesting that I want us to dive deep into, talk about, and really go through the steps with. He said, "No one will ever love you exactly how you want to, because that's your job and that's God's job." And I thought, whoa, interesting. And I sat back and I was like, oh, I agree with that. But then I was like, I don't think so. I think it could go both ways. I don't think it's just that simple. So I want to break it down, and I thought about it, and I really want to talk about where that takes me and what that meant to me when I heard it, when I first heard it, and when I broke it down a little bit to myself. So that's what I want to chat to you guys about. Okay, one, I agree with him saying no one's ever going to love you the way you want to be loved, because that is your job and that's God's job. Completely agree, that is your job. I totally agree with, if you don't love yourself, you can't expect someone to love you, or to give you the love that you think you deserve, because how would you know what love you need from someone if you don't even have that within yourself? So that statement makes sense to me. And God, of course, God loves us every single day. He will love us. He loves us through all of our mistakes, everything we do wrong. He loves us through it. He may not be happy with us, but he's definitely the love is still there and that will never change. But I also have to say, like, okay, well, first let me say this. This can apply in different things: friendships, relationships, family dynamics, lots of different relationships this can apply. But let's just say, in a relationship standpoint, if I'm in a relationship with someone and I don't really love myself, my self love, my self esteem is very low, and I'm in a relationship with someone, just because I don't have that doesn't mean that like they're not supposed to like treat me good. Does that make sense? Like, just like, even if I'm someone who, because there's lots of, let's be so for real, there's so many people that are in relationships that we know that don't love themselves, don't have a very low self-esteem, and they're in a relationship with someone. That's probably, there's a lot of relationships, more than a million probably, where there's people that are in that circumstance. But like, so even if you're that person that's in that relationship that you don't love yourself, you don't really care, you don't look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like smile, I guess, you don't have that self-love, that doesn't mean that that the other person in the relationship with you deserves to treat you wrongly or not treat you with love. I think it goes both ways. I think people honestly who don't have that foundation in themselves shouldn't be in relationships, to be honest, because now you're just expecting that person to love you. You're expecting that person to give you love, to treat you, to give you all the things that you can't give yourself. You're expecting that person to give it to you, and that's not okay, because then you become codependent. And your self-esteem gets worse, and I'll break that down. Because if you're in a relationship with someone that you expect them to love you and to care for you, but you don't think of that for yourself at all you're doing is putting more pressure on that person, and you're going to push them away, because they're going to get to a point where it's like, what else can I do for you? Because it's never going to fulfill you. All the love that they're giving you will never feel like enough, because you don't have that initial step, which is loving yourself first. Once you have that, and then the love somebody else gives you, that's a perfect blend of a relationship. Like, that's perfect. Also, another thing that's good about having that self-love before being in a relationship, you'll have that respect for yourself, and the boundaries that you set you will not cross, because you go, okay, I might like you, I might love the other person, but I love myself more, and at the end of the day, I'm not going to let you treat me away just because you love me. Like, you're going to stand up for yourself a lot more. I think a lot of times women, especially, I love us, but especially women, go into relationships when we know we are not ready for a relationship. We've all had that friend, okay, that we know is not in a mental space to be in a relationship, and they still get in one. They still get in one, or it's the opposite. We see that friend that's like ready for a relationship, and they get into a relationship with the wrong person, and we're like, who are you? Like, the person that you were before this person, he's tearing you down. The love that you had for yourself is gone. It can get both ways. So like, yes, no one will ever love you the way you want, because it is your job. It is your job to love you, to love yourself more. And I don't think that's wrong in a relationship. I think when you can love that person and care for that person and not want that person to be out of your life, but at the end of the day, you should pick yourself before them. And I'll explain that. Like, I feel like I was saying, like, women, I feel like a lot of times, like I said, we go into relationships when we know we're not ready for one, because we don't love ourselves. Let's be so for real. Like, there's not a lot of women on this planet that can 100% say that they love themselves, and they can look at themselves in the mirror and be like, yeah, I love the person that I am. It's just not, I don't think, because I think we get a lot of things thrown at us, right? Like social media, other forms of media, like televisions, movies, things that guys are saying. Now guys are all over podcasts talking about women. So us being insecure is, first off, we're human, but second of all, we have so many things thrown at us saying that we're not good enough, or we need to be this or that. So I get it, but you can't expect to get in a relationship with someone and think that's going to help you, think that's going to grow self-love for you, think that's going to make you think good of yourself, because you're not. Because again, you're going to become codependent on that person, and you can't be dependent on someone else to love you so you can feel that way. You have to establish that first. Like, I think that's really important to think about, because how do you expect someone to love you? You don't even love yourself. Like, I think we need to be so real about that, especially with women, because we look for that a lot of the times. And a lot of us do get into relationships looking for something that we probably didn't have before, whether it's a family dynamic, a friend dynamic. We get into it for so many reasons, and love is the last reason. It's probably what we're looking for, but we go into it for so many different reasons, and we're putting all this pressure on somebody else to pick up the slack where we fall short. We're falling short on the self-love that we're supposed to have, and we're expecting and putting this pressure on another person to pick up that slack and to give it to you. And once that person leaves, you're going to spiral, you're going to crash out. You're going to be like, why did he leave me? Why would he leave me? And all those expectations of you sitting down and being like, oh my gosh, why did he leave me? I can't believe he left me. What's wrong with me? You're going to start becoming more insecure, and your self-esteem is going to get even lower. So yes, that is a true statement. No one's going to love you the way you or God loves you. But even if you actually, no, now that I'm sitting here, I don't disagree with that statement, because on the other hand, I'm like, oh, but even if you don't love yourself, you still shouldn't allow somebody in a relationship to disrespect you. But also, I truly believe you shouldn't be in a relationship if you don't love yourself. And I think that's, I thought this through before this, but now I'm coming to a realization that, like, actually, no, no, I don't think you should be in a relationship if you don't love yourself. You're at first, like, why would you, like, that to me is just a recipe for disaster. And there's people out there that are in relationships that don't love themselves. Like, I don't see how that is going to help anything. To me, that is just only going to detriment you in the long run, because now you're going to be looking for the next one, looking for the next one, looking for the next one, for someone to fill up your cup, fill up your cup, fill up your cup. But your cup is never going to rise because you're sucking the life out of yourself. Like, you can't expect someone to put that all into you if you don't have that already, which is crazy, because I feel like I've had a friend before where I felt like kind of jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship, trying to find that feeling. And deep down, I knew that, like, my girly pop was not, she didn't love herself. She didn't like being alone, and it wasn't as like an abandonment thing. I think it was just, she just didn't love herself enough, and she wanted someone else to give that to her. So she would jump from relationship to relationship to relationship over and over and over again, back to back. And then guess what? You're just putting that pressure on other people, and you're expecting more from other people, because you're like, no, this person left me, so you can't leave me. And then that person leaves you, and you're like, well, no, two people left me, so you can't leave me. It's a cycle that you're putting yourself in, because you didn't take the time to sit down and love yourself, which is what I talked about in the last episode. It's very important to do that. It's very important to start putting yourself first, and thinking, and thinking, and being real with yourself, being honest with yourself. Am I emotionally intelligent enough to be in a relationship? Am I mentally sound enough to be in a relationship? Are my emotions okay enough to be in a relationship? Because being in a relationship isn't easy. And the good times, you're going to have more bad times than good times, probably. Okay? And if you can't regulate your emotions, and know who you are, and know for you stand for, in confrontation and in conflict, you're just going to fold to whatever they say, because you don't want to lose them. You're going to do anything to not lose them, because you don't have that love for yourself. That's, someone is giving you that. You don't want that to leave, so you're gonna compromise when you probably don't have to compromise. You're gonna sacrifice things for yourself that's probably better for yourself, because you don't want to lose that person. You start to do things that benefit them and don't benefit you. You think it's benefiting you because that person is still with you, but it's not, because you're still tarnishing your self-esteem and hiring your insecurities while you're with that person, because you didn't handle your stuff out first before you got with them. It's very, very, and I'm not saying perfect people need to be in relationships, because that's not true. I think we all learn from each other. There's things that everybody can teach each other, especially in relationships. But I think if you don't love yourself, you shouldn't be in one. And I know that's probably harsh to say, but I think it's true. It is true. Like, how do you expect that love from someone else that you can't even give it to yourself? Which is why I think I've always been totally fine being single. Like, I've never been like, I hate being single. I've never had that experience. I've actually loved being single. And I'm more of like the, I love being single. I would like to be in a relationship, but I'm not going to force one for any reason. And I don't need to be in a relationship, because I already have that within myself. I love me. I know God loves me. So I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I have my friends around me, my family. I'm good. Would it be nice to have that? For sure. But I don't need it. It's not something I'm looking out for. It's not something I'm on the hunt for because I'm looking for someone to fill up my cup. My cup's already full. I fill up my cup. I fill my cup up my own. Okay, I always say I am my own biggest fan. I really am. I think I can do anything. I think I'm the funniest. Like I am my biggest fan because I started to realize the good things about myself and what makes me great and what about me is really unique and really cool and what makes I realized that I broke that down and I realized that about myself and it took a long periodically time to get there. It wasn't easy, it wasn't fast, but I did that. So now I don't feel like I need to be with someone. But would it be nice to be? For sure. Like like having that other part, having someone care about you and like you, that's so much fun. Like the dating is so much fun, you know? But I don't need it. I don't need to be in it. And I'm not in it to receive love from someone else. I already have that within myself and within my circle, but it's like a little bonus. You know what I mean? If we're making that our entire, ooh, I need this so much so I can feel this, I think we need to take a step back and look at ourselves and be real and honest with ourselves. And like I've said that so many times, and I'll continue to preach it, you have to take the time to figure out who you are. Okay? You need to figure out who you are. And if you sit back and you go, bro, I don't know who I am, or if you're looking and you're listening at me and you're like, Tilly, I don't know who I am. I don't. I don't know who I am. That's why I'm going to different people to try to figure that out. And if you don't know who you are, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Okay? That's not a bad question either. If you don't know who you are, who do you want to be? What are some qualities that you see in real life that you would want to be? And take that and be it and become it. Like it's not easy, but we can't expect other people to give that to us because it starts with us first. We can't we can't expect someone else to be like, oh my gosh, to sing our praises all the time. Sing your own praises because I know I sure sing my own praises. And it's not in a cocky way. It's just because I truly did the work to do that. And when I heard him say that, I was like, yo, this is something I've been talking about for so long. Like, you can't expect to do that. And we've all seen people do that. And that's why women ooh, I hate this for us, but that's why we stay in situations that we don't need to be in anymore. That's why we stay longer than we need to be because we think for some reason we need this other person's love. We need this other person's attention. Or sometimes it might not even just be them, but it's just that someone's giving you love and someone's giving you attention. Not all love and not good, not all love and not all attention is good. Okay? Like we need to start realizing that we deserve better. And what's worse is sometimes we know that we deserve better, but we think no one else is going to give it to me. We think, well, I don't want to start all over. I don't want to, babe, what? I'd rather start all over in a brand new relationship than stay with someone who disrespects me and doesn't like we're searching for something. I think the bottom line is that like we're searching for something that we could find within ourselves. We are going elsewhere to look for the thing that one God already does. All right? And if you are a woman of faith or if you're a man of faith out there, God loves us period all the time. So that's the first thing. We're looking for something that God already is giving to us, but we're not noticing him for some reason. We want to get it from someone else. That's mistake number 1. And number 2, we need to learn to do that for ourselves. If you can't look in the mirror and look at yourself, but you expect someone else to be sitting here and treating you the best, but you don't even treat yourself the best, that's crazy. You're thinking backwards, babe. You're thinking backwards. And then to be honest, let's put it on the other foot. Would you want to be with someone who doesn't like themselves? Let's be so honest. Let's be so for real. Would you want to be with someone who doesn't like their selves? Because and let's be so for let's be honest. Think about it. Would you want to be with someone who doesn't love themselves? I know I wouldn't. I first of all, I'm too much of a dominant female to be with a man that is just very like that doesn't have a lot of confidence. I'm too dominant for that first of all. But second, besides that, why would you want to be with someone who isn't confident in who they are and who doesn't love who they are? Why would you want to? None of us, and let's just. This is kind of harsh, but I'm gonna say it. Insecure, when we can sit and be insecure when we're all insecure, but we can sit and be insecure. But people that really, really have low self esteem, it shows. That's not something you can hide. It's very you can see right through that person because they just show it so much that their self-esteem is so low they don't care and then they just don't love themselves. If it's not by the way they look, it's the way they talk, it's the way they carry themselves. You can see it off of people. And if you're talking to a guy and he's just self-degrading, he's not really confident, he doesn't have he's not portraying a confident man. He talks bad about himself. He roasts himself. That would kind of put you off. That's not attractive. Like you also people ever we're all attracted to confidence. Whether we like to say it or not, we're all attracted to that. So if you're not putting out that energy, what makes you think someone is looking at you and is attracted to that? I don't know if that sounds bad, but I'm just saying like we aren't attracted to insecurity in a person. When we want to date someone, we want to date someone who knows who they are, who stands up for who they are, has strong opinions, maybe very confident about the person they are. We would date that person over the person that's self-degrading, just doesn't carry himself well. Like we're gonna go with the other option. You know what I mean at the end of the day. So you need to sit with yourself and work on that. And also like this kind of ties into it as well. Like, because after I scrolled that video, there was a video that was like, just because and like, so that video happened and I was swiping. So I saw that video on TikTok and then I was swiping and there was probably 2, 3 videos down. There was a video that said, if someone is showing you a pattern, you have to stop thinking that you're the exception. And I said, ooh, that's good. And this kind of ties in to the whole self confidence and self esteem and loving yourself thing because women, I'm sorry, but it do be us. We will sit and think, babe, we can build a man, and it can be the ladies that are confident and that do have that self confidence, and it can be women that don't really have that self love. For some reason, we think we can build a man. Or, no, for some reason, we think that a man can show us who he is. But for some reason, we think we're the exception. He's going to change for me. He is. He is. I just know he is. He's going to change for me. I'm going to change him. I'll fix him up. We love playing Bob the Builder. We love playing Bob the Builder, and I don't know why. Because what makes you think that he can go and treat his other person, his other girl, horribly, disrespectfully, cheat on her, be just the lowest of the lowest type of man to her? And probably to the other one, to the one before her too. And you think he's gonna come to you and change? We always think that, and there's so many situations like that where a man will show us who he is, and we will still stay and think that we can change him. That's also a little bit of a sign of a little bit of self insecurity and not a lot of, and that also shows that there's not a lot of self love there as well. And I'll break that down. Because for some reason you think you deserve because for some reason there has to be a part of you that thinks you deserve a man like that you deserve a man that has all these red flags, but for some reason you think he'll be okay. Why? Because there but okay, there can be a man that is showing you so many red flags, but for some reason you think, I can change him, I can fix him, or he'll change for me. I know he'll change for me. There is a little bit of lack of self-love there, because why are you even going for a guy like that? Why are you even going for a man like that? Why do you even think you deserve that type of man? And now you want to change him and fix him? Babe, you're not all right either, because that doesn't make sense. And there's so many situations, we see it in life, we see it in the press and in the media all the time, even with Secret Life of Mormon Wives. We see that Taylor on that show sees Dakota treat her like crap every single time. Boom, 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 boom. The pattern's not changing. He's always cheating on her with other women, talking down to her, disrespecting her. It's a pattern, it's a cycle. And that is a little complicated because those two are toxic for each other. But we see all this happening of all the times Dakota has treated Taylor like trash, but she still takes him back. And she still thinks he'll change. And she still thinks that we'll figure it out and he'll change for me and it'll be perfect and we'll have a perfect little family when the signs are right there showing you that he won't. Like, same thing on Summer House. Sierra was with West. Everything was good. West disrespected her. Okay? Lied to her. Did all these things. She still felt like, but I still see his potential. I still see his potential. I still think he's a good guy. Boom! Laughs in her face again, treats her like crap over and over again, does the same thing that he did before, but does it even worse. But still, though, she's sitting there, and you think that she's, being like, I'm not going to take it anymore. But still, she still thinks that's my person. I think he has potential. Women fall in love with potential when it comes with a man. Let's be so for real. We fall in love with the potential of what he could be, what we see that he could be, what we see that he can do for us, what we are, the future that we see, that I see with him. That's what we think of, the potential with someone. That's why we fall deeper in love than men, I think. That's why we are so more emotionally invested in relationships, I think, than men, because we think of the after. Oh my gosh, he'd be a great dad. He'd be a great husband. This is what our lives would look like. He has so much potential. He could do this. He could do. We fall in love with the potential of the person and accept and not the person that they're showing to us to our face for some reason. We don't believe that. We just think, Charles, why are you acting like that? Because that's Charles, babe. Charles is not going to change. He's a dog. A dog doesn't change. Like, I don't get why we think we could do that. I don't get why we want to do that. A woman will sit up and be proud to be like the one he chose. Oh, he chose me. And she thinks she's all that because he chose her. Babe, you didn't get anything special. He is not the prize at all. And you think you won something. That's the thing. You think you won something. But that says more about you than it does him. Because we know this man is a bad person. We know this man has a pattern. He doesn't change. We know that we know he is not shy about who he is. But we're looking at you and we're going, hmm, hmm. There's something interesting about a woman or about anybody that would want someone who has all these red flags. There's something weird about you that you think that's a prize, that you think you won with that because he chose you. What does that say about you? That says, oh, this is what you think you deserve. You think you deserve a man like this. And it also says, oh, you really think you got something special. Like, you done something, but you didn't. If anything, it makes you look stupid. And I hate saying that, but it does. It makes you look dumb. Because why? Why are you choosing something that's obviously not good? Like, I don't get that. And let's be real. If he doesn't decide on his own to change and be a better person for himself, his qualities aren't going to change for you. Men that says, I'll change for you, I'll be better for you, I'll do this for you, walk away. Walk away. That is men that preach the whole, I'll change for you, I'll change for you, I'll do it for you. No, that is not the man you want. You want him to do it for himself. Why are you doing it for, like, thank you, I guess? But, like, you should want to do that for yourself. You should want to be a better person for yourself, not for me. Like, my ex, like, he literally was like, while we were, like, towards the end of our relationship, and obviously it was leading to us breaking up, and I told him that, and he would tell me, like, one thing that, like, was an non-negotiable for me was I wanted someone who had faith and who was I wanted someone who was a Christian and who wanted to not just say they're a Christian, but to live that life. I wanted to read my Bible with someone. I wanted to pray with someone. And he just wasn't in that stage where I was moving towards that. He really wasn't. And this man literally told me, well, I'll do it for you. If that's what you want, I'll do that. What? Don't do that for me. Do that for yourself. You should want to do something for me, especially something that can better yourself. Like, it's different if you're like, I'll take this job for us, for our family. That's different. But to say like you like no, and that to me personally gave me the ick. It gave me the ick so hard because I was like, first of all, you should want to do that for yourself. That you should, and the fact that you're telling me the things that you're going to do to keep me kind of put me off a little bit. I was like, yeah, no. I don't like that. Like, if any man says, "But I'll do this for you. I'll change for you," I'm telling y'all, that's not the right way to go. He should want to change for himself. He should want to better himself for himself. Whether that he should want a relationship with God for himself, whether that he should want to respect women for him, but for himself and not because he wants to keep you. He should want. He should be a good man for himself, not for you. You should want to have a good man, not someone who wants to be a good man. What does that mean? Like, no, that I'm telling y'all that turn the other way. That is not someone you want to keep at all. You Someone should want to do something for themselves. Do it for you. Be a better person for yourself, not for me. No. And if and I think we don't realize that like men need to do that inner work. A man will not change unless he does that inner work. Nobody can change him. I'm sorry. There's literally men out there that have kids that they don't speak to their kids, and you would think a kid would change you, and the kids don't change them. What makes you think he's changed for you? The man don't even pay his child support to his kids, but you think he'll change for you? Please be so for real. Like, we put ourselves we women for some reason we like to live in Delulu land. And I'm with you. Because I sometimes like to live in Delulu land. I like to think everything's great and everybody loves me and everything's just perfect. I do it too. But when it comes to relationships, we should not be delusional. We need to be real. What a man is saying to you, it's either two options. He's lying or he's being straight up honest with you. And you need to learn to decipher what that is. You are not the exception. You're not. And even if you think you are and he chose you, babe, that's not cute. And that says a lot about you. You don't love yourself enough to go for a better option, but you're going to stay with someone who is obviously showing that he has flaws and he has a pattern and he doesn't want to fix that flaw or fix that pattern. And you think you got it all? Like, what are you talking about? And there were women in the comments that were like, that was me. Like, I really thought that, like, this man would change for me. And I really thought I wanted all because I had this man. Like, and guess what? The same thing he did to old girl, he doing it to you. You want to know why? Because you didn't have enough self respect to say, absolutely not. You're not going to be in my space. You don't deserve to be in my space. I'm not going to choose this. Because if you had enough self respect for yourself, you wouldn't have gone for that. You see how I'm tying this into self love? You see how they both reflect on self love? That means nothing. Nothing will work. None of the relationships in your life will last if you don't respect yourself. Or actually, they probably will last if you just let people walk all over you and you're okay with that, and you just and you want to sit in your insecurity and sit in and you want to sit in that and sit in that self-esteem and that low self-esteem. People will walk all over you, and you'll have those relationships, but they won't be healthy relationships. They'll be with relationships with people who know that they can treat you badly. And that's how we get in bad relationships. If you want to be real, that's what happens to us. And I don't know what happens to the female brain when we get in a relationship, but literally we lose all common sense sometimes. Sometimes we lose all common sense. Things that we would never put up with, we just put up with. Like, our whole mind chemistry starts changing because we think that this man is worth it. We think this man is worth is worth what I we think this man is worth everything. We think this man is worth the self-respect that I had for myself that goes out the window. The friends that were there for me through my hardest times, we put them out the window. My family that was always there for me, we throw them out the window. We put every focus on this person, on this man, instead of yourself and God. Okay? And that circles back to the first thing. No one will love you the way you want to be loved because that's your job and God's love. You're putting all your hope that this other man or this man will love you when, first of all, God already does. And you don't give him attention. And you should love yourself, but you don't give yourself enough attention. You see how all this kind of circles back? I really thought about this, y'all. I really sat down and planned this topic because I think it's so important. And we will literally lose ourselves in a relationship because we think we're the exception or because we don't get love from anywhere else, so we think we deserve to get the bare minimum. It's the worst, and it's so sad to see. It's sad to see family go through it, friends go through it, girls that you're not even close with like that, but you like everybody knows those girls or those people that like you're not necessarily close with, but you know their situation. That's embarrassing too. You feel sad for them. Like, yeah, I don't really know girly pop, but I know she's in a bad relationship, and I know she puts up with it. Like, that's you want to be that girl? Like, that's not nice. Like, we have to respect ourselves a lot more. And self-love and self-respect are two different things. They go hand in hand, but they're two different things. You can have self-love for yourself, but don't respect yourself. Let other people disrespect you. But like, you can have that you can do that. You can say I love myself, I love who I am, but still let people disrespect you. That has to go hand in hand. We can't keep doing this to ourselves, and like, we can't we're putting ourselves in the situation. That's the worst part. And we're not, and even if, and what's worse is we put ourselves in the situation and then we don't get ourselves out of it. We just sit in it. Like, we have to learn that, again, no one is going to love you the way you will love yourself, and God will love you. And to have that self-respect, and to realize that I don't deserve to be in a situation like this. I am not the exception. A dog is a dog, and that's just who he is at the end of the day. This it all circles back to self-respect and self-love, always. And that is like the journey that I'm on. I'm going to call this like the self-love series. Like, I just want to keep preaching this because I just feel like, and also for I feel like that's like the topic of nowadays. Everybody will preach like, yes girl, love yourself, yes girl, you look so good, and we preach that all the time, but we really don't. We really don't. We really don't love ourselves. We really don't. We sit and we love when people tell it to us, but it goes in one ear and out the other because you don't believe it. You don't believe it. But for some reason, you expect other people to tell you it. Girl, let's be real. I'm a real honest friend. Okay? I'm not a friend that BS's. I'm a friend that keeps it and shoots it straight with you. You can't be in a relationship, especially a romantic relationship, and think it'll work out if you don't have that love for yourself first. It just won't happen. So please, my girly pops, please sit down and think about, hold on, why do I accept this kind of behavior? And guess what? It's all going to circle right back to because you don't love yourself enough. You don't respect yourself enough, because if you had enough self-respect, you wouldn't have put up with this behavior, because that's lacking. And I'm not saying it's all the way down here. It could just, the levels could just be off. You don't have it enough because you wouldn't have put up with it. You know what I mean? I only want the best for us girls. I hate saying girls, so I'm not gonna say girl, but like, I still support women. I love women. I think women can do no wrong. But a lot of the times, if we want to be real, we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. And it's because we don't love ourselves enough. It's because we don't think we're worth it. It's because we don't think somebody else was gonna give us that love. We search for the love elsewhere, from other people, from Instagram comments, from Instagram likes, to social media. We try to get that love from everywhere else, but except from us, and except from God. So focus on that. Realize that. I might continue to talk about self-love. I will, because I think it's the most important thing, and it's changed my life. So, and I really want you guys to have that same that same realization that you deserve it, and you shouldn't put yourself in a situation, and you shouldn't think that you deserve bare minimum. And I really think it's important for all women to really sit down and realize, and to ask themselves, do I love myself, and do I respect myself? I think that's a really good question to ask, and I will never stop talking about it because it's that important. Next, you guys know what time it is. It's the reality recap. So we're going to talk about Summer House first, because okay, I feel like I was really talking about Sierra a lot, and like talking about how much I feel for Sierra, but this episode made me really feel bad for Kyle. Because to see Kyle talk about, like, my wife doesn't respond to me. Amanda doesn't respond to my text messages. And he was going down all the text messages he was saying to her in no response. That's sad. Like, that's really sad. Like, and I feel like we know, like, Kyle is not the best of husbands. We know he isn't, okay? Kyle was not the best husband to Amanda. But it's also sad that he's like telling her I love you at night and she's not responding, and he's texting her every detail. Just got on the plane, just got on the plane, just got a cookie, just got my and he's telling her like every detail, like just boarded, just got my Biscoff cookie from the flight attendant and everything, and she's just not responding. But then Rest says, "Oh, I'm not. I had such amazing weekend," and she's like, "Ugh, I wish I was there." And that's the text you respond to, but you don't respect to the 20 to 30 text message your husband sent you. Like, that's sad. And I feel like, yeah, Kyle is more open and public with this disrespect to Amanda, but I think the disrespect definitely goes both ways. We just see it more on Kyle's end, but Amanda doesn't respect Kyle either. I think we have to remember that. And yes, Kyle calls her out of her name on public, and that's doing it in public to me is even worse. But Amanda doesn't care for Kyle either. Because if she did, she wouldn't be doing that. And I felt really bad for him. And I think it also just proves more to what we know and already know about the whole Amanda, Sierra, and Wes situation. That, like, Amanda was over Kyle. She really was. And she was finding that emotional connection with West. And I don't know yet if West and Amanda, this whole affair happened during the summer, but I definitely think an emotional affair definitely started and then it got physical. I don't really know when it got physical. I know it definitely got physical at the beginning of this year because we have the receipts for it, but that emotional affair was definitely there. And as we know for women, and as we know, like, women open up to men emotionally first, in my opinion. Like, and to see West care for her and stand up for her against Kyle, I think that really shifted her attention to West. And to even when like they were having that conversation and at the soft bar launch, and Kyle's like, can I speak? And they're like awkwardly like, sure, yeah. Like, and Kyle's like awkwardly like, hey, can I squeeze in here and listen? And they're like, sure, yeah. It's like, it's just sad. And for Wes to be like, and I wanted you to come out the car so we can surprise you. I was like, the way they're so hyper focused about each other, Amanda and West, it's just showing in every episode. I think we have 2 more episodes left of the season before the reunion. And every episode we're just seeing more and more and more sus things. And it just made me really sad for Kyle in this episode. I think especially now because we know Sierra's doing good now, and she probably is just showing up because it's her job, but like, and hiding it behind closed doors. But we know Sierra's getting opportunities. She's in the public. She looks okay. Who really knows how Kyle is feeling? And that really made me feel for Kyle for probably one of the first times. And that made me hurt for him. And then what like really threw me was when Amanda was like, "Oh, Wes needs to be cautious about Wes and Sierra being friends again." That's weird. Wouldn't you say Sierra needs to be cautious? But no, we were worried about Wes's emotions and Wes's feelings. Like, the girl just can't help herself. I was just like, this just doesn't look good for you on any level. Like, I just don't understand how she could do this, and I wonder if her looking back, she feels bad, but probably not, because on the leaks, on the leaked audio, she didn't sound like she had any remorse. Oh, I hate this. I feel like Sierra's watching this back, and she's just like, dang, like, this girl really didn't care about me. And that sucks, especially when it's someone that you think is your friend. Okay, now shifting from Summer House, we're going to talk about Beyond the Villa. And I'm just even more upset because let's just talk about the main thing from the 2 episodes, the Pepe, Iris, and TJ conversation. First of all, Iris is lying. Those text messages, I don't think they're real. First of all, why are they cut off? Why is the conversation cut off? You can't even see that they're from Pepe, and it's a screenshot. And she's like, "Oh, my phone's dead." And there's so many clips of her phone, like, obviously working all over the internet. And I think TJ, like, they're still together at this point, so they're not gonna not be together. But I think TJ was definitely manipulated. Do I think? Do I think Pepe said these things? No, I don't at this point. I think they're setting him up and they wanted to set him up like he was the villain, but he didn't really do anything wrong. They don't really have proof of the text messages, and TJ didn't get his phone charger when he asked for one either. He said, "Can we get a phone charger?" they didn't get one. So I feel like seeing how they're treating Pepe, I feel like they think that they were going to come on this show and look good and call out men and whatever, but it just looks like they're bullying, and it doesn't look good on their part, on Hannah, on Iris, or on TJ, because TJ isn't taking the time to understand the conversation. He's just coming in with all this hostility, and sorry, it looks bad when y'all are the ones that are piping up, and Pepe, who is supposedly the villain, is chill as a cucumber and trying to break down and say sorry and take some kind of accountability, but y'all want him to take accountability for things he doesn't believe he did, and y'all are mad about that. Like, Iris was stressed about the situation and she walked away because she knew she was caught in a lie. And I don't see how TJ sees that. But also, that goes back to what I was saying before. When you're in love with someone, they can do things that you think is shady or weird, but you're not going to end it with them. And that's not going to be a deal breaker to you because you like them so much. And I just want to be like, TJ, wake up, brother. Like, something's weird here. Can't you see that? And I just feel bad for Pepe, but I think Pepe is getting a lot of love recently. He's like, what, hit a million or about to hit a million followers on Instagram. So like, people are definitely on his side, and Iris and Hannah are just looking bad, honestly. And it's hard to watch. I'm so tired of watching them come for this poor man who looks like he didn't do anything to them. And I don't know if it's a miscommunication thing, or I don't know if it's a they're just trying to make Pepe look bad, but they just look horrible. They just look so bad. And what's worse is they're sticking up for themselves online and making jokes about it, but it's not funny. Like, y'all are being rude, and it's not nice to watch at all. Like, you're leaving a bad taste in people's mouths and you don't care. That's not funny. Sorry, that's not funny. It's not cute. But yeah, that's basically the two episodes of Beyond the Villa. Like, we're just trying. I just get past that because it's so annoying, and I'm kind of done with Hannah and her stupid comments. I think she's like being really much of a mean girl, and it's not fun to watch. But yeah, guys, that is basically the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys listened and learned something again, hopefully. I'm literally on a mission to help the girly pops love themselves, and I hope you guys can see that. And I hope you guys are taking good things from this and doing it yourself and applying it to your life. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.